Hello, hello. We've done it. We've hit 50 of these Yousician streams. Not always the most consistent in terms of time or day, but fairly consistent lately with just doing them. Maybe skip a day or skip 2 days, but no real large breaks since I started these back up, which is nice. So, we are done with level 0 through 4. We are on level 5 and we're back below 30. This 50th stream will also kind of be a hybrid video blog. There's the term I was looking for, because I didn't do this stream this morning, and I'll probably go back and change the title after this to reflect that. But I also didn't have my lesson yesterday. This time it was entirely on me. I was all ready for work, and I had gotten ready early so I could make sure I could get all my guitar stuff ready and in the car so I could take it with me to work, and then go to my lesson right after. But I didn't get the guitar ready, and I forgot it at work, or at home, and so on my way to work, I realized I forgot it, but I thought I was running on my normal time. And so when I got to work, I was like, oh, I really could have turned around, gone and grabbed it, and then still made it to work on time. So sadly, I had to cancel my lesson. It was all on me. I was really annoyed at myself because my wife even said I could have turned around to go back and get it, and I was like, no, I don't have time. But I had time. I should listen to her. She's always right. But yeah, we're on level 5 with 29 results. Video blog, I normally go over my progress, talk about the lesson. Didn't really have the lesson, went over that. And as far as my practice and stuff goes, I've been working kind of on my own on a few different things. In the last video blog, I think I mentioned that I was working on Poison Was the Cure. Again, if you look on here, I've got a couple of videos about, or progress videos of me playing Poison Was the Cure at different speeds and stuff in Rocksmith. And I've started that back up again just as a way to, one, kind of see where I'm at compared to where I was. And it's also pretty fast and not the easiest thing to play. So it's just comparing to where I was, but also trying to work and progress where I am right now. Just to do it. And Poison Was the Cure is Megadeth, and I do like Megadeth, so I think it's a perfect fit. After that, the next Megadeth I would want to do probably would be Holy Wars. Obviously, that was played a little slower and not perfect, but that's what it was. So with stuff like this, I've got a Google Sheets that I keep up in the same Chrome that I keep all the YouTube stuff that I'm doing the streaming on, just the next tab. And I've made this Google Sheets, and I'm modifying it as I go to keep track of different things I'm working on, like the Michelangelo video practices from Speed Kills. Right now, I'm just working on the first one, trying to get that up as fast as I can. He talks about the potential picking speed, which I'm keeping track of. What speed I am, like on all of these things, I'm keeping track of the speed. That way I can kind of see my progression, see where I stall. And I mentioned a lot of this in the last blog as well, but I'm doing that more. I'm expanding it, notating like what my start speed is and what my end speed is. So if my end speed is going up, I can bump up that starting speed, so that way I don't have to play through so much. I know I'm really getting it down, so that way I can focus more on the higher end stuff, but I also want to go back to the slower stuff to make sure that I am getting those fundamentals of what I am playing down, instead of only playing it faster and faster and faster, and maybe getting sloppy and sloppier. So that's why I do go back to those lower speeds, and I slowly bump up my starting speed, so that way I don't get too fast too quickly. It's kind of weird, but that way I make sure that on the basics and fundamentals of what I'm playing, I'm doing it well. And so then at the speed, I can try to retain that instead of kind of cheat my way through it by being sloppy or something. So the main things that I'm working on right now are those Michelangelo video exercises. The first kind of solo and I Want a Woman by Rat, that main riff in Poison When Secure, and then stuff that I'm working on kind of on my own, or if I have any extra practice time, or I'm kind of just burnt out on the other stuff, is Midnight Mover by Accept, Metal on Metal, not the riff, but the solo. I feel like that's one that's kind of in that advanced beginner range where not a complete noob, but I'm also fairly new to soloing, and I think that's a good one to try to bridge that. I've had trouble finding those, and that was one that I did find that I think is right in the sweet spot for me to work on. And You Shook Me All Night Long, AC/DC, that's another one where just kind of the whole song is kind of right in the sweet spot of trying to learn in terms of the riff, and then also the solo in there. And then one of the things that I've kind of been ignoring from my lessons are the blues scales. There we go. This one I believe was pattern 3. Pattern 1 is down here using opens. Pattern 2 I think starts at fret 3, and pattern 3 is fret 5. Pattern 4 I think is like fret 8. And then pattern 5 is up here at like fret 11-ish, I think. Somewhere between like 9 and 11, maybe goes to 13 on the highest. And then pattern, I'm calling it pattern 6, but it's pattern 1. Instead of being down here with the open strings, you jump it up to the 12th fret. That way you're fretting everything, and a lot of sweep stuff looks like it uses that pattern 1 when it's up at the 12th fret. You could think of it as like pattern 6 as well, because it's the 6th one as you move up. And so I've kind of been neglecting those just because I've got it on a piece of paper, and then most of my practice stuff is on the computer. And so doing that it's just a change in my workflow, and that change in the workflow of trying to practice, or change in my practice workflow, isn't very conducive to me wanting to do it. So what I've done now is I've put those exercises into a Guitar Pro file. I transcribed it into the Guitar Pro, and I put the Guitar Pro in the program that I use that's not Yousician or Rocksmith. It's called Go Play Along. Really great. By the way, it's kind of similar to Amazing Slowdowner, but it's computer based, and you can pull in tabs or songs and whatnot. I really like it. It's fairly popular, and a lot of other YouTubers that do tabs use it as well. If you wanted to know the program, that's the name. I've got it in the description on my bass videos. You can find it there. But I bring it in there, and that way I can adjust the speed, because you can adjust the speed, loop sections, and do all that sort of stuff with it. And that really helps me. It's a tool to use, but also lets me use the computer rather than trying to get a stand or something to balance up my binder. And I don't have a stand by the desk or anything, so that's a complete change in the workflow. To have to take off the guitar, the headphones, unplug, go grab it, come back, or it'll just be in the way. And so hopefully now that I've done that, I'll be able to incorporate it into my practice routine. And once I memorize all the scales, the next step for that for me, because I already know one of them really well, the second one fairly well, a third one, it was the last of the 3 that I learned. If I see it, I can play through it, but I kind of forgot it. And then once I learn the other ones and finish memorizing them, then the next step for me with those is to work on not just running up and down the scale, but utilizing the notes in the scale and some kind of contacts. So probably that'll look like using some kind of backing track and just improvising over it, and trying to use one of those scales in the key. And that's my guess on what it'll look like. I'm just really bad at, if I'm not running up and down the scale, how do I use those notes? On double bass and orchestra, I had to memorize like all the major and minor scales, and so I was very good with those on the 4-string double bass, but like the speed and whatnot with this, and it's been a long time since then too, and there are also more strings, the B and the E. It's just very different, as well as the number of fingers you can use in each position as well. So that's kind of where I am on that front. Just to kind of quickly label off some times, or my practice time, I'm at 8 hours and 36 minutes so far total practice time, not using Yousician or Rocksmith. I'll put in the description, like I usually do, for these blogs, video blogs, my total playtime for each, and as I've started doing now, the amount of practice time from last week that I've done up until this video blog. But now that we're done with this video blog portion, we can get back into the Yousician part, which is a large chunk of my practice to get through and really incorporate all these basics. We're avoiding House of the Rising Sun right now because it's got a lot of that arpeggiating, and that's something I need to take a look at a little bit more, probably on my own. Not necessarily that, just the arpeggiating. And so I want to do something we'll have a better chance of actually playing completely. And I did tune before this. So we played through this one on the last stream. It's just that middle section that we need. No, I missed it. It's kind of weird. You don't have a whole lot of time to transition from I think you're there to that C. And the whole point is to be able to play the song. And so I don't really want to cheat by not playing that last note to get ready in position for the C. At some point, if I'm frustrated enough, it may happen. It's just annoying having to play everything else, get to that, miss the transition. That's just the one thing that we're doing that we miss. I'll try it one more time. If we don't get it, we'll see where we're at, but I'm thinking I'll loop the section and just practice that transition with their practice feature and then try it again. So we'll just restart and see how we do.
Gotta feel all the
Yeah, I missed that C again, so I am gonna go to this practice and loop that. I want to get that riff and then go into that first chord. The loop may end up being a little bit weird, but we'll try it out and adjust if necessary. Okay. Okay, it seems like I can do it. I just need to take a little bit of time to make sure I knew what I was doing, so I wasn't stumbling over it, sight reading it. Let's just see how it goes performing it now that I took just that little bit of time to make sure I knew exactly what I was doing. We got it. Now we got to get through the rest of the section. We did it. I almost had the whole song. I guess now that I got the part I need, I'm just relaxing. Got that C to A minor there. Oh, the C to C chord not A minor. Yeah, after that section, my mind, I think I just relaxed a little bit. Not like consciously, oh, I can take it easy, but I just didn't have to focus so much. And that's what happened there. But we got it. Don't need to do any more. Got that gold, and we're playing for change. I don't know if we're trying to change the world or just get some coins in our pocket. Is it Clapton that does, like, I can't change the world? No! I botched it with my pinky there. I just realized you probably can't see my strumming hand as well as you may want. So, our picking hand. Let's get it back just a little bit for that. I don't remember if we needed that last section. Looks like we did. So we'll have to play it again. I honestly couldn't hear the lyrics very well. So I don't know the answer to my earlier question. Whether if we're playing to change the world or just playing for some money. And yeah, it was a little hard to hear. I thought I was playing it in time, but it kept saying a little late. And I don't know with the strumming patterns, a lot of times missing them is because of that. So I was kind of yo-yoing my playing tempo a little bit, trying to find the right tempo, because it's kind of hard to hear this specific track, at least for me while I'm playing it. Normally I can hear it pretty well. It's just a quieter song. Barely caught that. That first F in the last section said I was late, and I was late because I was trying to make sure I had my pinky in the right spot for it. Because last time I missed it because my pinky wasn't in the right spot. But we got it all gold in that run through, which is really nice. As I say every time, it's always a good feeling. So now we're on to the Grim Librarian. Ooh. The reason I said ooh is it didn't have chords for us to play in the beginning. I do enjoy a lot of the like riffs better than the chords. That's why most of what we have is chords to play, because I get through all the riffs and melodies. I do like metal, but I'm not sure I like this so far. Yeah, so a lot of times, I talked about this in a different stream, many of you may or may not have seen that, but with Yousician, a lot of times, it doesn't pick up, if you're alternating picking that upstroke, which kind of makes sense, because it hears the signal on that upstroke, it's not as loud a lot of times, which, looking at the poles, these different magnets in the pickup, if you're playing on this E, when you downstroke, you're right above 1, and then you're kind of in the motion sending the sound waves to the other 5, because there's 1 under each string. Now when you upstroke, the sound is being pushed away from those other 5 magnets, the poles, and you're only over that 1, so you should hear that difference, and a lot of that has to do with because of that placement. Now, if we're on this high E, again, you can hear kind of that difference between the down and the up. Now, if we are on one of the ones that's in the middle, so like the D or the G, sure, there's a little bit of difference, but it's a lot more even than over here, and because of that, that's one of the reasons why it doesn't really pick up very well on those alternate strokes that's the same pitch, because it doesn't really recognize that second pluck of the string. If it's a different pitch, then of course it'll hear down, up, the pitch changes. Really easy to hear that. I'll finish playing through this and then we'll go back through, and going back through, I'll probably keep those as down, 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 or I could do down, down, up, something like that. But we'll keep playing. Hopefully we'll get this last section. If not, no worries, because we got to play it again at least once anyways. I looked away, so I was guessing on what note that was gonna be. I realized I was focused on playing and didn't really get the word out properly. And the reason why it says troubleshoot is because we paused, and a lot of times when you do that, it'll think like, oh, I couldn't hear your sound, something must be wrong. But nothing was wrong. Except it just doesn't like listening to those upstrokes. That's one of the things I'm still not very good at, is which string I'm supposed to be on when it's in the middle grouping of strings. I know it's really bad. I should be better than I am at that. I played that, but I said I was early. I think we got that last section. If we were to get only one section, the last one is the one I would want it to be, because if we didn't get the last section, we'd have to keep getting through that last section every time. Now we only have to get through the intro and the bridge, so it saves us time by not having to play that last solo each and every time. And that'll probably say it's at the end of our time because we're above 15 minutes there. Ooh, maybe because we use some of the practice time instead, it's giving us a little more playtime. That's again the problem of the string. And part of the reason why I'm doing a lot of this Yousician stuff is it lets me practice a lot of this. There, I got it. That's the only thing I missed last time. Probably should have missed that, because I only played the 2. we got it. At least section 2. So to lock in that gold for section 2, we have to play through this last one. Woo! We only need that first section now, but for real this time, I think that'll be all of our time, as it told us. So I talked about our total playtime that is not in one of these programs. On Yousician, we have 27 results left at level 5. Going through everything, we have 851, so we're steadily decreasing that. And as far as our play time, that's at 122 hours and 17 minutes as of today. Thank you all so much for joining for this kind of hybrid Yousician and video blog. And I hope to see you all again real soon. Have a good one, everybody.